In the 1920s, Clark developed the world's first engine-powered lift truck. Although primitive by today's standards, these machines revolutionized material handling. Over the years, lift trucks have evolved through sophisticated hydraulic systems, electrical components, and numerous safety features such as overhead guards. Before you get on any lift truck and start to operate it, you should be trained and authorized. Even if you've had prior operator training on other models or makes, always read the operator's manual for specific details on the truck you're about to use. OSHA requires your employer to train you for the specific types of equipment you operate. This video is for operators of stand-up electric lift trucks and will not cover other types of equipment such as sit-down riders and pallet trucks. Refer to the Clark videos Safety Starts With You for sit-down lift trucks, Clark program number 96-012, and Safety Starts With You for pallet trucks, Clark program number 97-003. For stand-up truck operators, we also highly recommend the Clark video Better Safe Than Sorry, number 96-013. Contact your Clark dealer for ordering information. It's your responsibility to be alert for any indication that your truck may need service and have it attended to promptly. You play an important part in maintenance. Only you can make sure that your lift truck regularly receives the care it needs. Powered industrial trucks can become hazardous if maintenance is neglected. A daily or pre-shift inspection is required by OSHA. Consult the operator's manual for your truck for proper instructions on the daily check, and follow these instructions carefully. Clark recommends you use a form to mark the results of your daily check and return the completed form to your supervisor or maintenance personnel, whichever is your employer's policy. It serves as a helpful tool for both the person doing the check and the mechanic maintaining the truck. Doing a daily check helps familiarize you with all the components of your truck and helps keep it in a safe condition. Before performing the daily check, make sure the truck is properly parked, in neutral gear, with park brakes set, forks on the floor, and the key removed. You should first do a visual check. Look for leaks under and around the truck. Check the upright for worn, misadjusted, or broken chains, damaged rails, leaky hoses, or cylinders. This is a visual check only. Never put your hands, arms, or any tool or other device in the upright. Make sure the load backrest extension is secure and its welds are okay, and that the fork retention is in place. Note its condition on your checklist. Look at the forks. Are they bent, cracked, or worn more than 10% at the heel? See your operator's manual for details on how to measure. If so, they must be replaced. The overhead guard is there to protect you from objects falling off your forks or from nearby racks, but it is not intended to withstand a falling capacity load. Grab the overhead guard legs and give it a good shake. Its welds and bolts should be secure. Inspect both drive tires for cracks, missing pieces, or embedded objects. Next, check the steer tire at the rear of the truck. There should be no signs of cracks or chunks missing. Make notes on your checklist. On the NPR, examine both the drive tire and the caster tire. Then check the load wheels at the end of the outriggers. Again, there should be no signs of cracks or chunks missing. Check for debris under the brake pedal and remove any you find. Accumulated debris can hamper proper function of the brake pedal and the drive motor cutout switch. Look for the operator's manual, decals, and the data plate. They contain important information regarding safe operation, load center, and capacity of the truck. If any of these are missing or illegible, they need to be replaced. See the operator's manual for a listing of the decals that should be on your truck. The data plate located here shows you the maximum load capacity of the truck, load centers, UL designation, attachments, truck weight, and other equally important information. If you're not sure how to read the data plate, refer to your operator's manual for explanations. Check to see that the battery retention plates are in place. The battery itself should be centered into the battery compartment with no more than 1/2 inch clearance in any direction. Check the condition of the battery connector. Look for frayed or loose cables. Try the battery disconnect lever. It should easily disengage the battery connector and fit firmly back into place. Make note on your daily checklist. If you're required to service the battery, and this includes changing and charging them, you must be trained in the safe handling of batteries. Refer to the Clark video Safe Handling of Industrial Batteries, program number 96-006, available from your Clark dealer. Last, check for and note any obvious damage. The next step is a functional test to check that the truck operates properly. Enter the truck using 3 points of contact, and check the control handle. It should move freely and return to neutral when released. Moving the handle to your right will move the truck forward. To your left, reverse. Pull the handle towards you to lift the load and push the handle away to lower it. Press the top button and push the handle away to tilt forward. Press the top button and pull towards you to tilt back. The 2 lower buttons are for attachments and operate the same way. The horn is located here. Make sure it works properly. Not all trucks have this type of control handle. Your truck may be equipped with a control handle like this. Travel speed is controlled by the forward or reverse rotation of the handle. The farther the handle is rotated forward or backward, the faster the truck will travel in that direction. Lift and lower functions are controlled by pulling the control handle toward you to lift the forks and pushing the handle forward away from you to lower the forks. Tilting the forks forward is done by pressing the designated tilt button and pushing the handle forward. To tilt the forks back, press the tilt button and pull the handle back. If your truck is equipped with an attachment, its function will be controlled by these 2 button positions. Once you have actuated a function by pressing one of the buttons and pushing or pulling the control handle, you can release the button and the function will remain active until you return the handle to the neutral position. The horn button is located on the other side of the control handle for easy access. In either case, insert the key, depress the brake pedal, and turn on the truck. The brake pedal must be depressed to release the brakes and send power to the drive motor. Make sure the battery discharge indicator is working correctly. Check for adequate overhead clearance, then pull the control handle towards you to activate the lift function. If the upright will not raise to the full height without making an unusual noise, this may indicate low hydraulic fluid level. Components should move freely with no binding. Push the handle forward and lower the forks. If the upright does not raise and lower smoothly, do not use the truck until a trained mechanic has corrected the situation. An upright that is not operating properly can lead to accidents. Now check the tilt function. While pressing the tilt button, pulling the handle towards you will tilt the forks back. Away from you will tilt them forward. If you have any attachments, make sure they also work properly. On the NPR, check the reach function by pressing the top button and pushing the handle away from you. Pressing the top button and pulling the handle toward you will retract the pantograph. With the upright slightly off the floor, turn the steer tiller to its stops in each direction. The steering should operate smoothly without any looseness, binding, or unusual noises. Now check the travel control. Make sure the area is clear in both directions, then slowly move the multifunction handle to the right for forward travel and to the left for reverse. Always look in the direction of travel. Apply the brake by flexing your left knee to raise your heel. The truck should come to a quick stop. For safety reasons, the truck will not stop on a dime, so allow safe stopping distances when operating your truck. When you're off the truck, this pedal serves as the parking brake. If you notice any changes in the braking performance of your truck, especially if the brakes begin to get soft or take longer to stop, the brakes may need adjustment. Mark it on your checklist and alert your supervisor to have a mechanic check it out. Never operate a truck with faulty brakes. Park it and tag it out of service until it's fixed. You can also stop the truck and change direction electrically. This is called plugging. If you're traveling in forward or reverse and want to change directions, simply move the control lever in the opposite direction. The truck will slow down, stop, and then proceed smoothly in the other direction. If you want to plug to a stop, simply move the control lever to the opposite direction, and as the truck slows to a stop, release the handle to neutral. Plugging is the preferred method of stopping these trucks, but be aware it may take you a longer distance to stop with plugging than with a foot brake. Always be in complete control of your truck. And while operating the truck, listen for any unusual noises. These indicate that something is wrong. Look behind the truck and check the floor for leaks. If your truck is equipped with lights, alarms, or mirrors, make sure they are functioning correctly and in place and in good repair. If any component of the truck is missing or in need of repair, mark it on the checklist. Do not attempt to replace or repair the item unless you are trained and authorized. Instead, place a Do Not Operate tag on the truck and remove the key. Take the checklist to your supervisor or maintenance department and inform them of the problem. In addition to the daily inspection, Clark recommends that you set up and follow a periodic planned maintenance PM and inspection program. Performed on a regular basis, the program provides thorough inspections and checks by professional mechanics on the safe operating condition of your truck. The need for adjustments, repairs, or replacements is found in corrections made as required, not after failure has occurred. The specific schedule or frequency for these PM inspections depends on the conditions of your particular application and lift truck usage. Clark also makes the electric truck planned maintenance report form available. Just as with daily checks, PM results should be logged and kept to help establish the performance and service history of the truck. You or your employer should contact your Clark dealer for more information on daily and planned maintenance. To summarize, OSHA requires a daily or pre-shift inspection of lift trucks. You must perform both visual and functional checks. Mark your results on an operator's check sheet, available from your Clark dealer. Never attempt repairs unless you are trained and authorized. Tag out a truck needing repair and alert your supervisor or maintenance personnel. Turn in your completed check sheet to your supervisor or maintenance personnel. Do not operate a malfunctioning truck. And set up and follow a periodic planned maintenance program. The operator's manual has complete instructions and warnings. Read, understand, and obey this important information. The decals on the truck are a short version of instructions and warnings, a constant reminder while you're operating the truck. Do not operate this truck unless you are trained and authorized. And do not operate a malfunctioning truck. Look where you drive. Handle only safe and stable loads. Adjust your forks as wide as the load allows. Always watch for pedestrians, even if your truck is equipped with lights, alarms, or mirrors. Lift trucks will tip over if not operated properly. Drive with the forks lowered. Slow for turns. Watch for overhead obstructions, and use extreme caution near dock edges. And never turn on a slope. Counterbalance stand-up lift trucks are not designed for operation on long or steep grades, but can be used on short grades and small ramps such as dock plates. Never operate a narrow aisle truck on any grade. Slow down and use extreme caution on wet or slippery surfaces. When braking or plugging, allow enough room to stop the truck. It will not stop on a dime. The brake pedal is operated with the left foot only. Never use your right foot to operate the brake pedal. In fact, these trucks are designed with a ridge along the side of the pedal to discourage inadvertent use of the right foot. And do not lift loads larger than the capacity shown on the data plate. Never climb or stand on the overhead guard. You could slip and fall, injuring yourself. When operating these trucks, keep all parts of your body, especially your arms, legs, and feet, inside the operator's compartment. This is especially important to avoid injury in a collision with a rack or wall. The only exception to this rule is should your truck start to tip over or go off a dock, step off and away from the falling truck and load. And never wrap your hand around the overhead guard leg. Should you collide with a rack or other hard surface, you could be severely injured. Always wait for the truck to come to a complete stop before leaving the operator's compartment. Never put any part of your body or any tool or anything else in the upright. You could sustain severe crushing injuries. And never put any part of your body or any tool or anything else in the pantograph. Do not climb the upright or stand on or under the forks. You could be crushed or injured in a fall or by falling forks. Do not use the upright to elevate personnel. They could fall and be killed. Use the proper equipment to elevate people, like a personnel aerial lift. Be careful when positioning forks. Make sure the fork stops are in place. If the stops are missing, the forks could fall off the end of the carriage and severely injure you or someone else. And use your feet to move the forks. Do not pull them with your hands. Before getting off the truck, lower the forks and tilt them slightly forward. Set the direction control in neutral and turn off the key. The parking brake will be automatically applied. And always park on level floors, away from doorways, fire extinguishers, or other safety equipment. If there's any possibility of the truck moving, block the wheels and never park in front of fire exits. Always look in the direction of travel. If the load blocks your view forward, travel in reverse, except up ramps. If you can't see, don't move. Use a spotter as needed. Don't turn with your load raised. Go straight into the rack for optimum load placement. And when backing out of a rack, back straight out. Lower the load and then make the turn to travel down the aisle. Never leave a load raised. The lift and tilt cylinders can drift, possibly causing the load to fall. You or someone else in the area could be severely injured. Always keep your load low to the ground, especially when traveling and parked. Carry loads only high enough to clear obstacles. Make sure the load does not protrude into the carriage or back into the upright. It may cause misstaging, malfunction of the upright, or broken loads. Handle long, wide, or high loads with extra caution. And never handle loose or unbalanced loads. Make sure the load is back against the load backrest and centered on the forks. And watch for slack chains when lowering. They mean you have a hang-up in the upright or in the rack. To summarize, always look in the direction of travel. If you can't see, don't move. Use a spotter. Never turn with a raised load. And always keep your load low to the ground. Always keep your arms, legs, and feet inside the operator's compartment. Make sure loads do not stick into the upright. Only handle stable loads. Always come to a complete stop before leaving the operator's compartment. And last, watch for slack chains. Always stay alert for pedestrians. Lift trucks and pedestrians often share the same aisles and paths. Pedestrian accidents are the most common type of accidents with lift trucks. Terrible crushing injuries result when a lift truck hits a person. Always look in the direction of travel for co-workers or other personnel who may be in your lane of travel. Sound your horn. Try to make eye contact and wave them out of the way. Sound your horn and be prepared to stop at intersections. Slow down at corners and watch for pedestrians or other trucks. If your truck has alarms, lights, or mirrors, make sure they're working properly, but don't rely on pedestrians to see or hear the signals and get out of the way. They often don't. Also, watch the tail swing of your truck. Lift trucks have rear steering for added maneuverability. So when you turn, the counterweight swings wide. Watch out for pedestrians even to the sides of your truck. Try to keep a circle around your truck free of pedestrians. And of course, never give rides to anyone. Lift trucks are designed for only one person, the operator. And you're responsible for the safe operation of the truck at all times, so stay alert. The use of elevators needs special care. Make sure their capacity is sufficient for your truck and its load, and that the floor is in good sound condition. Enter slowly, park the truck with the parking brake set, lower the load to the ground, and turn off the key switch. And do not operate your truck if you are on medications that may make you drowsy, under the influence of alcohol or illegal drugs, or ill or fatigued. Again, when operating these trucks, keep all parts of your body, especially your arms, legs, and feet, inside the operator's compartment. Follow the traffic rules of your plant. Watch out for workplace hazards such as overhead obstructions, protrusions out of racks, other intrusions into the aisles, bad floor conditions, and debris. To summarize, stay alert for pedestrians. Always look in the direction of travel. Make sure your alarms, lights, and mirrors are working. Watch your tail swing. Absolutely no riders on your truck. Do not operate if ill, under the influence of alcohol or drugs, or tired. And never ride with your foot or leg outside the operator's compartment. Follow your plant's traffic rules. And last, watch for hazards. Make sure the surfaces you travel on are free of debris, potholes, oil, ice, water, etc. They could cause you to lose control of your truck. The ESM was designed for the loading and unloading of trailers, which means the operator must take care to make the loading dock a safe environment. Heavy vehicle and pedestrian traffic and poor surface conditions all add to the hazards. If the doors remain open when the trailers are removed, be extremely cautious and stay away from the open doorway. Wet and cold weather will make the exposed dock edges very slippery. The dock area should be kept clean, dry, and free of debris. Operate with great caution near edges. Never operate on makeshift dock plates. Only properly secured dock boards or dock plates are safe for lift trucks. Make sure the trailer has been properly chalked and locked to the dock, and that the landing gear is lowered. Also, take time to talk to the driver yourself. Make sure he's aware you're working in the trailer. The ESM is designed to operate on short ramps such as dock plates with a grade of 15% or less. It is not intended for use on long inclines with grades over 10%. If you're carrying a load, the forks should be pointed up grade. If you do not have a load, the forks should be pointed down grade and raised to clear the bottom of the ramp. Remember, loaded forks upgrade, unloaded forks downgrade, regardless of the direction of travel. Never turn on a ramp and never park on a ramp. Control your speed. Travel down ramps slowly. The NPR NSR lift trucks are not designed to operate on dock plates or ramps. They should be operated only on smooth, dry, improved surfaces, like warehouse floors. When moving material, be careful not to overload your truck. Check the data plate for the rated capacity. Although a tip-over is a rare accident, it results in serious, even fatal injuries. To avoid tipping your truck, you must understand the concept of the stability triangle. One of the most important things to remember about the design of a lift truck is that it is supported at 3 points. Now, this is true even if it has 4 wheels. This 3-point support forms a triangle when the points are connected. This is called the stability triangle. The stability triangle has been determined by engineered tests in such a way that it can predict when load weights and motion contribute to truck instability. The black circle represents the center of gravity, or CG, of an unloaded, motionless truck. The The center of gravity shifts according to the loads added or operations performed, such as traveling and stacking. If the CG moves outside the triangle, the truck could overturn. In traveling with a safe recommended load, the CG is maintained at a point in the middle of the stability triangle. This provides safe side-to-side and front-to-back stability. When a load is added, the CG shifts toward the base of the triangle. The result? Well, the heavier the load, the greater the tendency to tip forward as the CG nears the base. This is also the case with braking. What happens when the truck operates with one side of the truck lower than the other, on uneven ground, for example? Well, the CG shifts toward the sides of the triangle, and sideways tipping becomes more likely. The same is true when turning. Any turn will shift the CG toward the sides and introduce the possibility of a lateral overturn. The higher your speed is in a turn, the more likely the truck could overturn. This is true whether you have a load on the forks or not. We can also think of the stability triangle as a three-sided pyramid. When the forks are lifted, the closer the CG moves toward the top of the pyramid, and the narrower the range of side-to-side and front-to-back stability becomes. Because of this, turning with a raised load is extremely dangerous. And remember, any change to the truck's weight, load capacity, or certain components will alter the stability triangle. Loaded trucks are more stable laterally than unloaded trucks, but loaded or unloaded never make sharp turns or fast turns and never turn with the forks raised. Always travel with your forks low to the ground and tilted backward slightly. Again, watch where you're going. Uneven surfaces, debris, sloped ground, slippery pavement, and potholes can cause tip-overs. If you're an experienced operator of sit-down lift trucks, you know to buckle, brace, and stay in the seat if the truck tips over. However, stand-up rider trucks are different. Because of the different layout of the truck, the sit-down rider technique does not work. Now, if your stand-up truck starts to go off a dock or tip over in any direction, step off and away from the truck. Do not remain in the operator's compartment. Get away from the truck and the load as quickly as possible. Remember, step out and away. To summarize, make sure the surfaces you're operating on are smooth and free of debris. When traveling on ramps, loaded forks upgrade, unloaded forks downgrade, regardless of direction. Never turn on ramps. Never overload a forklift. Always know the weight of your load. In the event of a tip-over, quickly step out and away. And stay alert at all times. Watch for pedestrians. As a lift truck operator, you are a professional. Operate in a professional manner. You must be serious about operating your truck safely. Never take part in horseplay. If you're careless or reckless, accidents will happen which can mean serious or fatal injuries for you or your co-workers. Keep your truck in a well-maintained condition, but do not make repairs yourself unless you're a trained mechanic. And use only original manufacturer's parts. Put safety first, and remember, safety starts with you. If you have any questions or need further information, contact your local Clark dealer.